The new season of MAFS Australia is upon us, and Channel 4 has apparently found a way to distill all the worst elements of modern dating into a single couple, Jack and Tori. So we're going to look at them both individually here today, and then together at the wedding, and see what kind of insufferable people we have on both sides.
Yes, I think there's blame on both sides.
And learn a little about how their attitudes are incompatible with long-term relationships. Starting with Jack. So for a start, he's vain. Jack, do you consider yourself an alpha?
Would I call myself an alpha? Yes.
Okay, fantastic. I'd like to appropriate Thatcher here when she said, being powerful is like being a lady. If you have to tell people you are, you aren't. Speaking of Tories, Tori here is, in her own words, fiercely independent. Despite modern convention selling hyper-independence as a positive thing and a desirable state of affairs, it isn't actually how humans were designed to function, and would have been historically impossible to even attempt until very, very recently. So we'll see if Tori's dependence on independence works out for her. Let's meet our lab rats, starting with God's gift to women, Jack.
I'm Jack. I'm a personal trainer from the Gold Coast, and I'm 34 years old.
So Jack's a personal trainer. Now, I've seen enough personal trainers in the natural habitat, the gym, obviously, to know that their job is basically to flirt with middle-aged women.
Would I call myself an alpha? Yes.
Red flag.
I like to try and control the situation.
Red flag. At this point, we've reached levels of red flags only rivaled by a CCP parade.
I'm a leader, provider, and right now I've got no one to lead and provide for. Typically, I'm definitely attracted to the submissive type, but I think I need a more confident woman. I want them to challenge me. Challenge me.
Bro, what does that even mean? She has to be submissive and challenge her? What does that even look like? Is that bringing you breakfast in bed but making you decide between sausages or bacon? This may sound like something an abuser might say, but let's not forget that he also insists on a meticulously clean and tidy home.
Everything in my house has a place. Everything's nice and neat and tidy. All my food's laid out. I know where it is. Pretty much open my drawer up and, yeah, you're going to have 20 cans of tuna and about 10 bags of rice in there.
I feel like I've seen this movie before. So that's Jack. Now let's meet the quarrelsome woman that every man dreams of arguing with for the rest of his life.
I've been told I'm too much, yeah, too much, too ambitious. And I'm a business development manager in the automotive industry. It is very male-dominated, but I am very strong, stern, to the point. I'm absolutely a control freak.
She's giving business bitch vibes in the extreme. Girls get it done, etc. and so forth.
Yeah, it's not nice.
All right, so what do you like with compromise?
I couldn't tell you because I don't think I've ever done it.
Red flag. Well, you know what they say, a relationship is based on never compromising.
My mum was a really strong, independent, single mother, and she brought me up to be very self-sufficient. No, I learned from my mum not to have to depend on a male. I don't need a person. I don't need a partner.
Congratulations. No man is an island, I've heard them say, but apparently a strong, independent woman is an isolated nation. If Wakanda was a person, it would be Tori, apparently. Seems like a mother has let her own bitterness towards men shape her daughter's perspective. I don't want to get into the issue of single parents here, but it looks like the mother has had a hard time of it, and as a corp, has taught Tori that absolute independence is the way forward, as men can't be relied upon. This may have been the case in her mother's experience, but that speaks more to the mother's inability to seek and foster healthy relationships than it does to the quality of all men. So at this point, they're both worried about relinquishing control.
He and Tori, their wedding day presents an uncharacteristic loss of control.
I've just relinquished the control.
Can't see that going wrong at all. Two control freaks who want different things. Match made in heaven. This show's producers are Machiavellian, literally. It's so subtle the ways in which they mismatch people, but they do it very well. And let's be honest, we're all here for it. So the wedding. First we see the mums together.
Yes, I'm mum.
I'm mum. I'm mum.
Mel.
Mums together.
Mum's the word. Someone should have told Tori's mum that, as she is apparently struggling to keep it in her pants.
I'm excited. I'm getting a son-in-law.
Did you guys get a good room?
God, I didn't think you were going to say room there.
What did she think? What's the joke here? What did she think she was going to say? Did you get a good down? Like, what? I don't think that is likely to be what she was going to say. So now we see the groom Jack in all of his vain glory. Stuffed into an ill-fitting suit, he can hardly walk over.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Here he comes now.
He's so cute.
He squeaks over to the mother of the bride like a nutcracker.
Are you Mum?
Yes.
Hello, Jack.
Charles.
Overly pruned, the slit on the hair, overly pruned eyelashes, teeth. There's too many top knots on this show as well. I've seen two. We've seen 4 couples and 2 of the men have top knots. That ratio is way off. I would say that he's making the classic mistake that men often make of knowing what he wants in a woman, well groomed in the extreme, a hot bod, etc. And so is doing that to himself in an attempt to attract a woman, not understanding that women are attracted to different things than men. However, this whole look seems to go down very well, so I suppose that's a win.
You've got beautiful teeth. It was on her list. Thank God, he's very handsome.
Horny mum.
Sounds like you've got a bit of a crush. I do indeed. I do indeed have a crush on Jack.
Very randy mother.
Mate, do you know what? Even if it doesn't work, you just come home with me.
Now this seems like a cheeky bit of bants, but can you imagine if the father of the groom said that the bride could come home with him? It would be a very different vibe. And maybe this inappropriate behaviour from Tori's mum shows us a glimpse of why she's sat at this wedding without a father of the bride sat next to her. Maybe.
Great teeth.
She complimented my teeth, so I'm going to assume she thinks I'm attractive.
Assume she thinks I'm attractive? Be honest, mate, that's what you usually assume about every woman.
Welcome, friends and family, to the wedding of Tori and Jack.
Today I stand across from you as a very proud, independent, self-made man.
Proud, independent, self-made man, blah, blah, blah. Talks about himself for ages.
I'm definitely not your typical guy next door. I'm a combination of intensity and I live a very productive, fast-paced life. This has led me to some amazing successes in life, including running my own fitness business for 10 years.
Are you still talking about your immeasurable success of being a personal trainer? Weird flex, but okay. And then don't get me wrong, being a personal trainer is a fine career, and more power to people who can manage to leverage their interest into a career. But can we not pretend that you're some kind of titan of industry when we're talking about you overcharging a handful of insecure people into paying you to watch them lift weights?
I was raised by a very strong, independent woman, and because of that, I myself am fiercely independent.
AKA pain in the ass.
I look forward to a future of morning walks, skincare routines, lattes, matching pajamas.
Miss me with that
You did mention she's a control freak and she's fiercely independent. It definitely spiked my ears.
Do you think you got your work cut out for you, Jack?
I don't think so. I definitely reckon I'll sort her out and we'll have a good time.
I'll sort her out, is it? He'll sort her out. At this point, we just stop not even counting the red flags anymore. I'd just like to say that I wish I could have seen Tori's reaction to him saying that. So all of the guests that he's invited to the wedding appear to be current clients of his, which is very strange.
Yeah.
So this is my client. She's just had a baby.
Yeah.
Her second baby, name's Liz. And then the woman over there is my client. And then Jasmine, she's the client.
And I can't help but notice that a lot of them are attractive young female clients. I can't foresee that becoming an issue at any point in the future.
When it comes to Jack, I just have this weird feeling. It's just an intuition that I have. Majority of the guests here are his clients.
He and I met at the gym.
Where were his high school friends? Is this a reflection of his inability to have long-term relationships?
Bit of a stretch, But it is very weird to invite mainly clients to the wedding. I think she's reaching a bit. It belies an inability to have long-term relationships, but it is certainly a very strange phenomena. Why has he not invited any friends or family? Is it because he's not really invested in this process? I think that's more likely to be it.
What are you thinking?
There is something about him that is like reserved and guarded, but I don't know what it is.
Like he's a secure person, and I can tell that.
For me, I'm kind of like, why is everyone here a client of yours? Where are your long-term relationships? You're not getting financial benefits from that.
All right, Jesus.
Now, this friend of hers is the definition of the fridge guarding the snacks. She's concerned that Tori will leave her for some bloke because she herself doesn't believe that she can find a partner of her own. This is all motivated by insecurity and fear, and it's very sad but equally toxic.
I don't want Tori to leave this evening on this high and not be privy to orange flags.
Don't want Tori to leave this evening on a high. Lamau says it all, really.
It's giving, controlling the narrative. There is something, I can feel it. Could be something like a misogynistic thing. I mean, you don't know. When it comes to Tori and relationships, I feel as though I am 98% of the time accurate with the outcome.
So she does this with every relationship. Very interesting. So Tori has 2 toxic influences gunning for her relationships. No wonder she's still single. Her whole support structure is telling her exclusively that she shouldn't be with someone. So they don't have sex on the first night, which to me is fine. Probably seems like a good idea. I always think sleeping on the first night on the honeymoon, or the night of the wedding at least, is a bit soon. What did they say? The flame that burns twice as bright burns half as long and all that. But then it turns out that he doesn't find her attractive, which is not much of a surprise. Not that there's anything wrong with her. She's a perfectly fine, reasonably good-looking woman. But he's going to want a hard body to go with his hard body for some reason.
There's no sparks flying for me at the moment. I need to be invested in the girl and I need to be connected. If I'm not, I'd rather be by myself.
My conclusion just from this introduction and the wedding and then the initial stages of the honeymoon is that this relationship is just not going to work. Because, in his opinion, he just has too much access to women, to other women. He sees them as a commodity, and in his own words, if it's not perfect, paraphrasing, I'd rather be by myself. Which sounds like some self-care, therapy, woo-woo bullshit. But when he says by himself, it doesn't mean he's going to be a celibate, introspective monk. He means he would rather keep sleeping with his clients or other girls from the gym with no strings attached or any requirement of investment of time or emotion. And since apparently he can, why wouldn't he? This dynamic is then further supported by her Chad chasing, I hate to say it.
Him swinging like Tarzan was like, it was a vision, really, wasn't it? It was an absolute vision. Something I could watch all day, really? All day.
She sees him as so many levels of desirability above her that she'll likely come to meet him where he's at every step of the way, only reducing her perceived value. After all, an oversupply of something reduces its value. And my bet is that we'll see more of this moving forward through the rest of the show. Ironically, this will then only reinforce her belief that she shouldn't have invested in anyone and she was right not to bother with men in the first place. We'll see how these predictions play out during the rest of the season. So come back next week, folks, to see if I'm way off or if, like her friend,
I am 98% of the time accurate.
See you next time, folks.